There is a specific kind of polish that certain women carry that no amount of spending can replicate. You have seen it. The woman whose skin looks genuinely alive rather than product covered, whose hair moves like it was never touched by heat, whose makeup, if she is wearing any, seems to have arrived on her face rather than been applied to it. She is not necessarily spending more than you. In many cases, she is spending significantly less. What she is not doing is a very specific set of things that most women do every single day without realizing the cumulative cost. These are the 7 beauty mistakes that old money women, the women who carry that effortless generational quality of refinement, have quietly eliminated from their lives. And every single one of them is something you can stop doing today. Mistake 1 is over-cleansing, and it is the foundation of almost every other skin problem that drives women toward more products, more treatments, and more spending. The instinct to cleanse thoroughly and frequently makes intuitive sense. Clean skin is healthy skin. But the skin barrier, which is the thin protective layer responsible for retaining moisture and keeping irritants out, is disrupted by over-cleansing in ways that take weeks to recover from. Women who consistently look like their skin is effortlessly healthy are almost universally gentle with their cleansing. They cleanse once at night to remove the day. In the morning, water or a very gentle rinse is sufficient for skin that has been doing nothing but resting. Double cleansing every morning, using foaming cleansers that strip the skin, or cleansing more than twice daily, are habits that slowly and invisibly compromise the barrier that makes skin look expensive. The correction is not a new cleanser. It is fewer, gentler passes with what you already have. Mistake 2 is wearing foundation as a baseline rather than as an occasional tool. This is one of the most important distinctions between women who look like their skin is naturally extraordinary and women whose skin looks managed. Daily full-coverage foundation does not give skin a break. It creates a dependency cycle where the skin never gets to be seen and evaluated honestly, where the foundation becomes load-bearing rather than supplementary, and where the act of going without it becomes increasingly uncomfortable because the skin underneath has never been allowed to be the thing people see. The women who look effortlessly refined use foundation strategically, for specific occasions, specific concerns, specific moments, and on ordinary days they let their skin be their skin. Tinted moisturizer, a light SPF with a slight tint, or nothing at all. Skin that is allowed to breathe and be seen every day is skin that improves. Skin that is covered every day is skin that is managed but never developed. Mistake 3 is treating fragrance as an afterthought rather than as a considered element of presence. Most women apply perfume as the last step of getting dressed. A quick spray or two on the wrist, perhaps the neck, and then out the door. Old money women understand that scent is not a finishing touch. It is a foundational layer of how they are experienced before anyone has had a single conscious thought about them. Scent is processed in the limbic system, the most emotionally powerful and memory-forming part of the brain, before rational assessment of any visual element has occurred. The correction is a layering system rather than a single application. A lightly scented body lotion on warm skin after showering. Perfume on pulse points where body heat diffuses it continuously. A light mist on the hairbrush before styling so that every movement releases the scent softly. This approach creates a scent presence that is subtle, warm, and genuinely unforgettable in the way that a single spray from a bottle never is. Mistake 4 is over-styling hair to compensate for hair that is not in good condition, rather than addressing the condition itself. This is one of the most visible and most common patterns in beauty, and it creates a cycle that is very difficult to break. Heat is used to smooth frizz caused by damage. Damage creates more frizz. More heat is applied. Products are layered to manage the result of the heat. And the hair ends up looking managed rather than healthy, which is a fundamental distinction that the human eye reads immediately and accurately. Old money hair is not necessarily the most styled hair in the room. It is almost always the healthiest. The shift is to spend 1 month reducing heat usage as significantly as possible, applying a deep conditioning treatment once a week, sleeping on a silk or satin surface to reduce overnight friction, and evaluating what your hair actually looks like when it is healthy rather than when it is being managed. The answer to most hair problems is not a new styling technique. It is less intervention and more recovery time. Mistake 5 is the one that affects how expensive a woman looks more than almost any other single factor, and it is the one most women have genuinely never considered. It is the absence of a consistent baseline standard. What separates women who look effortlessly polished from women who look polished occasionally is not the quality of their best days. It is the quality of their ordinary ones. Old money women do not have beauty routines that they maintain when they have time and abandon when they are busy. They have a minimum standard, simple, quick, non-negotiable, that is maintained regardless of circumstances. This does not mean elaborate, it means consistent. Clean, shaped nails at all times, skin that is always moisturized, hair that is always intentional, styled or deliberately unstyled, but never neglected, eyebrows that are always maintained. These details, kept consistently rather than occasionally, produce a cumulative impression of someone who takes themselves seriously every single day. That impression is the foundation of the old money aesthetic, and it costs almost nothing to maintain once it has been established. Mistake 6 is matching when they should be harmonizing. This is a subtlety of taste that distinguishes old money style from new money style more clearly than almost any other detail, and it applies directly to makeup and beauty choices. Matching, the pursuit of exact coordination between lip color and blush, between eyeshadow and outfit, between nail color and accessories, reads as effort. It signals that a significant amount of thought was invested in achieving the coordination, which paradoxically makes the look feel less natural and less expensive. Harmonizing is different. It is the selection of tones and textures that belong to the same general family without being identical, that feel like they could have happened accidentally because they simply suit the person wearing them. Warm nude lips, a slightly deeper nude nail, a soft warm blush, or cool berry lips, a sheer rosy cheek, a clean barely there eye. Nothing matches exactly. Everything belongs. This is a much harder effect to manufacture because it requires knowing your own coloring well enough to work within it rather than around it. But once you find your harmony, the result is the specific effortlessness that matching can never achieve. Mistake 7 is the final one, and it is the deepest, and it is the mistake that all 6 of the others are ultimately symptoms of. It is making beauty decisions based on trends rather than based on self-knowledge. Trend-driven beauty is inherently temporary. It signals that your aesthetic identity is borrowed rather than owned. It produces looks that are dated the moment the trend has passed, and that require constant updating to remain current. Old money beauty is not trend-resistant because it is conservative. It is trend-resistant because it is rooted in something that trends cannot touch. A clear, honest, deeply personal understanding of what makes this specific woman look most like herself. The investment required for this kind of self-knowledge is not financial, it is attentive. It requires time spent observing what genuinely works, rather than what is currently popular. Which colors make your skin look alive? Which textures suit your features? Which level of effort produces a result that feels authentic rather than costumed? That self-knowledge, once developed, produces a consistency and an effortlessness that no trend budget can replicate, and it is the final, foundational secret of every woman who has ever looked expensive without appearing to try.